everyone, welcome to our very first episode of Voices of VJ, where you'll be given personal insights into the Victorian experience through our very own Victorians. Now, let's start off with some short introductions. I am Mizuki and I am from the arts stream. The subjects that I take are mathematics, economics, literature and English, and theatre studies and drama, and I'll be a host for today's episode. I'm also in the Students' Council. What about you guys?
Hi everyone, I'm Aliyyah. I'm in the science stream and the subjects I take are chemistry, physics, math and economics. And I'm in the Malay Cultural Society.
Hi guys, I'm Thaqif and same as Aliyyah, I'm in the science stream as well and I take physics, chemistry, mathematics and economics. I'm in the outdoor activities club.
Hi guys, I'm Sock Teng. I'm also in the science stream. I take biology, chemistry, math and history, and my CCAs are symphonic band and medical society.
Thank you for the introductions, and with that, let's start off with our very first question, which is, what was your first impression coming into VJ?
For me, stepping into VJ for the first time, I definitely had mixed feelings. I think like many other people, I felt very nervous and intimidated, which I think is a normal thing being in a new environment with very few familiar faces. However, my worries really eased when I started interacting with the seniors because they were so enthusiastic and friendly and made the whole environment very welcoming. So I felt a lot more comfortable and less awkward. I think the whole orientation program was really just a lot of fun for me, and eventually I managed to step out of my comfort zone and became more proactive in talking to new people and making new friends, which I think the OGLs really encouraged us to do.
Yep, I agree with Aliyyah. I still remember on the very first day, we were all separated into our different orientation colours and we had our own OG identity. So mine was a yellow shoelace and I felt that this really gave us all a sense of community, even though most of us had never met each other.
Oh yeah, speaking of group identities, I also had a yellow shoelace for my OG identity. What about the two of you?
For me, I had a bucket hat.
I was in the blue OG, so our group identity was a water gun.
Oh, that's actually really cool.
Another thing that really got us closer together were the mass dance and the body percussion cheers, which the OGLs actually innovated since we were unable to shout during COVID. I also felt that this really gave us a sense of what the VJ tradition and spirit was.
I think one activity that stood out for me was definitely the Amazing Race because the seniors had brought us around the school through the different blocks and the different routes. So it gave us an idea of how to get around and where the different things were in VJ. And of course I did get lost a few times because I was still new at the time. So but everything was still like pretty close and connected to to the different locations. So I didn't really need to take more than 5 minutes to get to certain places.
I hope that you're still not getting lost till today.
I hope so too.
Okay, so now that I've heard all your stories, right, and I'm pretty sure that even for like the others who have gone through orientation, they will agree with you guys that it was indeed something that was really fun, and meeting new people was really enjoyable, even though it was awkward and a bit shy in the beginning, because I think it's really just all part of like the journey of meeting new people. So now that we've talked about the orientation group experience, let's move on to the class group experience. So what was it like?
For me, I was actually quite disheartened just a little bit because I got so bonded to my OG in that 3 days of orientation, and then after that we were introduced to our classes and the whole process of making new friends restarted again. So same thing, at first everything was quite awkward. Actually for me, I didn't know anybody in my class, so I was quite scared at first because I think some people at least knew some of my classmates already, but I think the CGLs did a really great job in facilitating us, and at the span of 3 days, everyone just got really bonded and we just started making friends with everybody, which was really nice and comforting for me.
Yeah, and I think the highlight was definitely the finale night because at the end of the whole experience, the seniors had decked out the hall and the field with fairy lights, and it was really a pretty. The school was really pretty because the event was at night, and I could really take pretty aesthetic IG stories. And yeah, it was a really nice way to conclude the whole experience because it was like walking down memory lane, even though we have only known each other for like a week.
Yeah, I think I agree. I think after after the whole week of orientation, I think we all got really attached to how orientation was like, just because of how memorable and beautiful that whole first week in school was. So now that we have talked about how the first week of school was like, right? What was it like, transitioning into normal JC life after orientation?
For me, integrating into JC life is definitely not easy at all, especially academic-wise. I think at the start I was really struggling to like finish my assignments on time and all that, because maybe it's because the lessons and the structure in JC is a lot more independent. Like we have to watch online lectures during our own time, so we need a lot more time management and discipline, right? And I think there's really a lot of things and content that you have to learn in a very short period of time as compared to secondary school. One thing that really helped me was the people in VJ, really, like my friends and my teachers. My teachers especially, they're really helpful and approachable. So whenever I have questions or I need to clarify my doubts, for example, about things that I don't understand in the online lectures, I feel very comfortable to approach them and ask them questions. I also go for like consultations. I think the teachers are really willing to like spend that extra time to teach us and make sure that we can close all our learning gaps.
Yeah, for me initially, I was also a bit uncertain and worried because I had heard a lot about the academic rigor in JC. So one thing that was quite difficult to get used to was the fact that we had longer break times and also this thing called self-directed learning periods, also known as SDL period. So we had a lot of such pockets of time that gave us, in a sense, more freedom and independence. But you really had to make use of this and have some discipline as well to really study. Another thing with the online lectures, I felt that it was really different from secondary school when we mostly had physical lectures. So that was another thing to get used to, even though it was quite good in the sense that you could always replay and rewatch since they were all online on SLS or Google Drive.
Yeah, thank you guys for sharing. And I think lastly, Thaqif, do you have anything to say about the transition?
I think regarding academics, my sentiments are more or less the same because generally my experiences are also the same. But I think one thing that was really a challenge for me was getting used to the social life here in VJ. Because I think most people can relate that stepping into a new environment with a lot of new people was a bit daunting, like as what we covered before. But culture-wise, VJ is really cheerful and like really vibrant. All the friends, all the seniors, and the school staff are really approachable and friendly. So every day, like interacting with them is really a joy for me. Like I would really never pass up talking to the security guard every morning where they would greet me as I walk through the school gates. Because it really puts a smile on my face every time I start school. And like all these small little interactions really makes everyone a little bit more sociable and a little bit more extroverted, which can really be attributed to like the safe and comfortable community here in VJ. So I guess if some people are scared about starting a new life here in VJ, I would say trust the process because things are always a lot harder at the start, but it definitely gets easier as it goes. So don't be afraid.
Thank you for sharing. And yeah, I do agree that it's really all part of the journey, and eventually we'll all get to where we want to in the end. So no need to worry, and really just put your best foot forward. And with that, we have come to the end of our very first episode of Voices of VJ. Thank you guys so much for being here, and thank you guys for tuning in. We hope that you guys have learned more about coming into VJ and that we have helped you guys to make a more informed decision on whether you guys should come to VJ. We hope that we have shown how we are
Vividly Victoria.